The encoder doesn't start. Well, I'm not sure if this is working or not. Gee, where can I tell this? Oh, am I actually streaming now? Well, that's cool. Okay, hello people. I think I'm finally streaming. I've been fighting with this for the past half hour. Right, neat. Okay. Well, where do I begin? I've been promising to be streaming, and I have had so many technical difficulties you would not believe it. But I always have a story to tell, I guess. We had fast broadband installed several weeks ago, and along with that, they put 5G into our neighborhood, which I thought I was very excited about until it turns out that I'm actually very sensitive to 5G, and it's making me feel quite ill. I've written about it on my blog at All Fiber Arts, so I won't bother you in this broadcast with it, but it'll be in the links below in the description video. So then I'd had to go with Ethernet broadband instead to set up the internet. We had to drill holes in the wall and get cables pulled out to the studio so I could stream out here. And this is my first broadcast that maybe is actually going to work properly. Yeah, so anyway, so here I am. I'm just going to do a short little video just to get this going and make sure that things are working properly. Fingers crossed. I'm not showing you what the whole studio looks like right now because everything's still kind of in chaos and stuff is in boxes and I'm not packed properly and trying to get setups with cameras from different views and stuff. So that will come later. So today I'm just going to sit here in my chair and do a bit of null binding. You may have seen it in some of my other videos. And I'm working on a rather colorful hat at the moment. I'm still using the nice Noro yarns from Japan, and I like them because they're a single ply, and null binding originally was always done with single ply wool because it was made with just probably spindle spun with a stick and some sheep's wool, and then they just use a very simple needle rather than knitting to make all their garments. Now I'm trying to find the needle. I've been fighting with computers here so much that I've lost all my stuff. Right. So null binding, binding, needle knitting, thumb knitting, whatever you want to call it, is always done with short pieces of wool because you have to break them off and you loop it around your thumb, so you have to pull off small pieces of yarn and then join them. That's the bit of a pain to it, but that's how it's done. Now, where's my needle? Just do the sewing part of it. So to join the two ends of yarn, it's called a Russian join, possibly because the Russians invented it. And this is a way of joining yarn where you don't have to do several knots at a time. You don't have to knot the yarn, you just interlock. And in the end, it ends up being a very nice smooth finish to joining a yarn. So I'm going to hook the new piece of yarn through this to interlock it. And then I pull this other end through here. There, so the yarn is joined. And I'll trim off these little bits. Then I thread the needle. To be able to use a longer piece of yarn, I kind of accordion fold it a couple of times and then thread the needle. Reduces the amount of times I have to be joining yarns together. Oh, I wonder if I could add Twitch stream. That Twitch isn't working. Does Kick work? Oh, that's not connecting either. Oh well, never mind. I'll stick with let's one at a time. One at a time. I'm doing the finished 2+2 stitch again. These annoying cables. Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, I don't have my camera set up very well yet. I guess it's going to take a bit of practice. No, never mind. Yeah, I like the finished 2+2 because it gives a nice thick hat on Warm and Woolly. The more times that the wool is looped around itself gives you a thicker finish at the end because it's going through twice through all the yarn, so you're getting several layers of wool. If I wanted to make something thinner, I would only be using a single stitch rather than the two, picking up two threads at once. So to do this, I pick up, it's sort of like crochet, except I'm going in the opposite direction. So I pick up the next stitch and one of the loops from the previous stitch, and then I have 3 loops on my thumb. So I'm picking up one off my thumb, one from behind my thumb, that's the 2, and then I leave 2 on my thumb, and I turn it around and come back in the opposite direction and pull it through, which creates a circly loop. So one stitch, the previous stitch, one off my thumb, one from behind my thumb, and 2 remaining on my thumb. And this new one that's here becomes the new stitch that you've just formed. So when you're finished making it, there's now 3 loops on your thumb. So that's going to be the last one to go. So the next one is going to be that one that we're picking up. So this, a new one, an old one, the oldest one from your thumb and from one from behind, and then you turn at counterclockwise, so you come back. When you're picking up, the other way to do it is you can pick up just the new stitch and not one of the old ones, but what that does is it creates more of a looser stitch here and makes it the product more wholly, sort of like, but I like to make it thick, so I'm picking up a second one because the idea is it's going to be a winter hat, so you want it to be as warm as possible. So my plan, my idea in my head for this live streaming thing that I'm going to be doing is that it will be different projects every day, because I work on several different things, and I'll turn the camera on for half an hour, and you can see what I'm up to. And I'm also going to be streaming it on different channels, because there's Twitch, there's Kick, there's Rumble, there's, well, YouTube, and it's possible, if everything's working properly, to stream to all of them at once. But then if there's live people on the chat board, I can't see who's there and respond to them all. So I think I'm probably just going to have one of them a day, or one of them at a time, and then a bit later in the day stream it from one of the other channels. So if you're interested in that, subscribe on the different channels and you can see what I'm up to. I'm also thinking about maybe putting them on another server, such as Patreon, where I can combine all of the different places that I stream stuff to, and then as a member of the Patreon thing, you can see all the different things that I'm up to during the day, or over the days of the month, or whatever. I don't know. I'm just kind of formulating these ideas in my head, so I'm not sure, but those are kind of my plans. Oops. Time to join some more wool. So I put 2 loops back onto my thumb, and this becomes a new one, and then I'm going to pick up again the new stitch, a previous stitch, and 2 from behind my thumb here. There, and then I'm back in action. If you've never done knot binding before and you want to have a go, I sell the needles, different sizes of knot binding needles on my website and through my folksy shop. And I also will be selling hand spun yarns, so if you're interested, I'll leave links in the description and you can have a look. Sometimes it's tricky to see which is the last one. You have to look back here on your the end of my thumb down here and see this is the one that I want to pick up. So this one is that one. Yeah. When you get to the previous join and then there's this fat bit, it's kind of hard to see which is the right one. I really think that knot binding was an ancient Sami craft, though it's not really you don't really see any writing about it very much. There were some knot binding articles I think found in a grave site years ago that makes you think that knot binding was used by the Sami as well, but there isn't a lot of stuff about it. But my dad used to tell me, because he was a fisherman. I messed up here. Have I messed up here? Maybe I have. I don't like the look of this. No, I'm taking it apart because I've done something here that brings this yarn way over there, and it shouldn't really. So the trouble with knot binding is it's really hard to undo when you made a mistake. You've got to pull everything out through several stitches to go back to where things went wrong. Unpicking this is not a fun thing to do. Not at all. It goes right back to where I did the join. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a few more so I don't have a second fat join right in the middle of this. Well, this is a useful thing to know, how to unpick null binding. I suppose it's not a total waste of my time. Where does this one go? Now it goes there. That one. So I'm pulling. There. I want to cry. Well, break off that lump. Okay. Try again. Okay, so that's the new one, 2 and 3. This thread comes over here. That one. So I was saying earlier, before I got into that mucky part back here, is that my dad used to tell me stories when I was little. He was a fisherman, and he went salmon fishing off the west coast of British Columbia. And in the winter months, I'd sit out in his net house, and he'd repair nets and stuff. So on the weekends, I'd spend my weekends out there sitting with him, and he'd tell me stories. And my mom always used to make him fingerless gloves for when he went fishing, but she just did them by regular knitting, and he kept trying to explain to her how his mother used to make him mittens and gloves, and she didn't want to know about it. She just would get angry. He says, no, he said that what she did, and he'd show me his thumb, and he said she would wrap the yarn somehow around her thumb 3 or 4 times, and then she twisted the needle around. I never did figure out how to do it, but then, and she'd make these things with just a needle, an ordinary needle, and some wool. And he said to me, Päivi, someday you've got to learn how to do this, because this is that makes the best kind of mittens and hats. It's much warmer than anything else that well, I don't like to say that anything that your mother could make. She was a beautiful knitter, but her mittens really did not keep my hands very warm. So someday, Pavy, you learn how to do this. So I guess here I am learning to do this, Dad. This is what it was, and sorry I couldn't make you a pair, but here I am making them now. So hope you're watching. Funny how life is, eh? Noro yarn is quite unspun sometimes, and it's too thick, so sometimes you can gently pull it a little bit to make it a bit thinner and smoother, and then twist it in your fingers to add a bit more spin to it so it doesn't come out so lumpy. Oh, that's a bit better. some of these null binding hats that I'm making are, I think I will also be selling through my shop on Folksy. So if you're interested in purchasing a hat that you saw me make, you know, have a look there later to see. I will list whether it's going to be in the shop or not, or speak up and ask for it, and I will send you the one I'm making. Okay. I think I'm going to stop this for now, and I will be back tomorrow. Not sure if it's going to be with null binding or one of the other things that I'm doing in here. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will hope to see you again. Please subscribe, and you'll know when I'll be on next.